Welcome to the Dynasty Nerds Fantasy Football Podcast, where we discuss Dynasty strategy, rankings, and all things NFL. So get ready to geek out on fantasy football with your host, Rich Dodson.
And welcome to the Dynasty Nerds Fantasy Football Podcast. I'm Rich Dodson. He's Matt O'Hara.
Hey.
He's Garrett Price.
How's it going?
And we are talking Dynasty Fantasy Football. Got a little something. We'll get right into it. Obviously, if you missed yesterday's show because you saw the title and you're like, I got to get to today's show, make sure you go back. We have the Data Hub. We got a promo code right now, 20% off our yearly bundle if you use the promo code Data Hub. Use that one word, all one word, Data Hub. You get 20% off our whole yearly bundle. We have the Data Hub in there, updates to the League Analyzer, and so much more. You got to check it out. It's on the website and in the app. Tons of data. Get in there and play around with it. Promo code Data Hub. So Garrett, what do we had a long show yesterday, so let's just go ahead and dive right in here. No pussyfooting around, as you like to do. What are we talking about here?
Yesterday, first time in a while in season, we've just done a one segment show, but when you're redrafting a class, that takes a lot of time, as we can see. But here we're back to several segments. We've got two in this one specifically. First one, we're going to do the legit list. We did this last year as well, and we're looking at players that are non-rookies that kind of had their breakout this year and how legit we think those breakouts are. And basically, this time next year, how likely is that player to still be in the similar spot or maybe even slightly better than where they are ranked today? So we'll go through the legit list, and then we'll kind of let you know where we ranked everybody overall. And then segment number 2, I think this is going to be a fun one and really, really helpful for you contenders out there. Would you buy for a first? So we list 3 players that you could potentially trade for as early first, and we'll say, would we do it or not? Mid first, would we do it or not? And late first, would we do it or not? So
we're talking like hotties, mids, and like I've had some drinks. Yeah. I've been lonely for an hour. Need to unload.
That is such a rich way to kind of break that down. I like it, Rich.
I live my life. Man. Sucks for my life.
Well, let's get in the legit list here, and I'll give you the list of players. Overall, these are players that, they're not rookies. They're not as exciting as some of those guys, but they've had their own at least mini breakout, and some of these guys pretty major breakouts this season. So we're going to rank these guys, and we already did it, and we'll kind of let you know why we put certain players where we did. So here's the players to go through. The 2 quarterbacks, Daniel Jones, obviously with the Indianapolis Colts. He's averaging 20.4 points per game. He's looking fantastic. That team is winning games. Another team that's winning games, Sam Darnold with the Seattle Seahawks. He's averaging 17.4 points per game at the quarterback position. So 2 quarterbacks that were formerly on different teams, but we've seen them kind of recycle and reuse, and now they're studs again, or so we think. We'll talk about it. Running back position, we've got 3 guys here. Rico Dowdle, a career resurgence here with the Carolina Panthers, averaging 14.4 points per game. Javonte Williams, another guy on a new team, and he's scoring a ton of fantasy football points at 18.7. Jordan Mason he's kind of been the lead back with the injury to Aaron Jones. We'll see what he does when Aaron Jones comes back, now that he's looking like he's going to be coming off the IR anytime now. He's in his 21-day window. He's averaging 12.1 points per game. 2 wide receivers here. Quentin Johnston.
Aaron Jones, by the way, designated return today. Designated return.
That's right. That's why I said the 21-day window.
I don't listen to you.
Quentin Johnston, 16.2 points per game. He's having a great season with the Chargers. And Kayshon Boutte, he's been a little up and down, but he's been an absolute league winner for your team at certain points in the season. This year, he's at 11.4. And then Tucker Kraft is having a little tight end breakout there this year at 13.3 points per game. So why don't we start at the bottom and work our way up? So the guy that we have the least confidence in as a group to be able to maintain this breakout status, and that's Kayshon Boutte. We across the board gave him the 8. So he was the the one that we felt the least confident in. Rich, why for you did you put Kayshon Boutte in that range?
Just with how well Drake May has been playing, that he hasn't shown it on a consistent level. That's all. I need consistency out of my players. You know, I asked for it from Jamar Chase. He gave it to me. He is the fundamental foundation of the word consistency, and the birth father of it. I am just the mother. Thank you, Jamar, for planting that seed. So for me, like, again, nice player. I wish I had a lot more shares on my roster for the upside there. But again, this is a team that we mentioned, you know, like T. Higgins is probably somebody could be traded. He can go to the Patriots. They could draft a receiver in the first round. I just think they got to get Drake May some more weapons out there. I think it's pretty clear because right now is like number one weapon is Hunter Henry, which is weird. Like I was doing some stats on like Tucker Kraft, like Hunter Henry, like him and Hunter Henry and Tucker Kraft are like really close to the same amount of targets. Like they're only like 30 and like 33. They have, for the yards they had like the least amount of targets essentially. And then receptions, and their numbers are only like 20 yards apart, like Hunter Henry and Tucker Kraft. Like they're very close overall number wise. So like they got to get him some weapons, and maybe Kayshon Boutte would develop. He's also not a rookie. Like he's been there for a couple of years. So I think he's kind of like, is he a Gabe Davis plus? You know what I mean? Is that what you're getting there? Like, there's no way you're putting Kayshon Boutte in your lineup week in, week out, and feeling good about it. And in today's NFL, like, listen, you have to establish yourself and start putting out there because they're going to find guys that will give you that consistency. And that's why Kayshon Boutte for me was number 8. Just not enough of it.
Rich, real quick, the way you started off with that, it reminded me of The Office where Dwight takes Ryan to the beet farm. And he's like, as you put your seed in the ground, I put my seed in you. That's what that sounded like to me. Yeah. All right. Matt, what about you with Boutte?
I do like the Gabe Davis type of comp. Like I think he can flash skills. Like he isn't an unskilled player, but not being able to do it on a consistent basis, like Rich was mentioning, I think is going to be a problem that New England eventually says, hey, we need to get a guy in here for our franchise quarterback that isn't old, like a Stephon Diggs, that is an alpha. And I think Kayshon Boutte just isn't that. I think he can produce like that in spurts, but they need somebody that's going to do it over the long haul and kind of be able to grow with a Drake May. So I do think that either through free agency with somebody that breaks free, or a trade, or just go to the draft and get somebody straight from college, straight from the Ohio State University, a Cardell Tate type.
With Vrabel there, it wouldn't surprise me.
Right, exactly. That can just be a plug and play guy in the NFL. So
consistency is your issue as well.
That's why I just don't think he's going to be around as like a thing much longer, basically.
Due to consistency.
Correct. Rich.
Thank you.
Yes.
That's what I need to hear.
Yep.
100%.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Yep.
Next one here, number 7 on our list overall, although we were slightly different on the rank. Jordan Mason. Rich and I, we had him as the 7th guy that we felt was legit. Matt, you had him at 5, so you have a little bit more belief than we do in Jordan Mason. So what are your thoughts on Jordan Mason's breakout here?
Listen, I think he's doing well right now. I don't really have a ton of confidence in any of my bottom 8, 7, 6, or 5, but I had to rank them in an order. So he made it to the top of that list, kind of by default. So, I mean, obviously Aaron Jones is going to come back. His workload is going to get cut into, but they do like Jordan Mason. They brought him here for a reason. And I think even when Aaron Jones was here at the beginning of the season, they were making it kind of a point to get Jordan Mason the ball in certain situations. I think maybe it'll be certain situations plus now. You know what I mean? So he's going to have less than what he has right now, obviously, when Jones comes back, but I think more than he had at the beginning of the season.
Yeah. What do you think, Rich?
Yeah, I have him at 7 overall, Garrett. Was he my second to last?
Yep.
Yeah, you guys both did.
Yep. He's a fine running back. Aaron Jones is coming back. They did sign him a 2-year extension. This is definitely a team I could see invest in high draft capital in a running back next year. even potentially sign a guy. I think Jordan Mason is what he is. I think he's a solid NFL running back. I think he's nothing special whatsoever. He's easily replaceable. He wins by getting touches and a majority of the touches, and that's how you start him in there. He's a Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt plus, essentially. Like, nothing really there. Like, his breakout was probably in San Francisco last year. I wouldn't even call him a breakout player this year. I thought he was kind of weird to even be on the list, to be honest with you. He does nothing to me. Like,
keep this behind closed doors, Rich, criticizing my show sheets.
Yeah, I'm sorry, buddy. But like, I'm outside with no shirt on, and my nipples are still flaccid. So not excited about this whatsoever.
Flaccid nipples.
Flaccid nipples, yes. Or as some people like to call them, in El Natural states.
Who calls them that?
All right.
East Coast, West Coast. I don't know. Me? You will later.
Yeah, obviously I had him at 7th as well. So not a player that I'm willing to invest in. I do think he's going to be involved long term. So I don't think he ever plummets. But I don't think we're going to see him quite as high next year as we do now, just because I think all that hope of him maybe being the true RB1 there will be gone by that point.
Yeah, I mean, dude, if you're starting your starting lineup, you're not like, oh, dude, who's beating my team this week, baby? You're like, oh, man, I could really use another running back on my roster when guys like Rachaad White are just outpace him. I think Tony Pollard. Wait, where is Jordan Mason on the year? Hold on, where is he at? Let me keep scrolling. Oh, there he is. He's running back 27. So like Tony Pollard's outproducing them. Derrick Henry, who's had a bye. So I guess Jordan Mason's had a bye too. Enough said. Flaccid nips.
Flaccid
Sure.
nips.
All states.
All right, let's go to the next one here. Rico Dowdle. Rich, you were the highest on him of the three of us. You had him at 5th on your list. I am at 6th. Matt had him at 7th. Do you think there's legitimate hope, even though that running back room is a little bit of a mess long-term because of the Chuba contract, and they still have Jonathan Brooks, but he's looked really, really explosive.
Yeah, that's the thing. This is tough because, listen, he's not no spring chicken either. He's like 27, 28 years old in that time frame, and I know they brought Chuba Hubbard. What sucks is they paid Chuba Hubbard. They bring him back this year. They say it's going to be a 50-50 split. It is a 50-50 split, literally. Rico looks significantly better than Chuba does, like in a passing game, in a running game, like everything he does. I mean, they bring him back. Chuba Hubbard averaged 2.21 yards per carry, and Rico Dowdle averaged 4.65 yards per carry. He was the one involved in the passing game. So, like, I'm excited about him, like, because if he's the starting running back somewhere, like almost like the complete opposite of Jordan Mason, right? Like, if he gets an opportunity somewhere to be the guy, like, this is exciting. Like, he's like top 12 in rushing yards because of 2 games that he had. But so far, every time he's got an opportunity, he has shined. Like, not just been like, oh, this looks pretty good. He has shined. So I'm a little bit more excited about Rico Dowdle, but at the same time, like, it's hard to be like you need Chuba Hubbard like to stub his toe, like drop some Legos outside of his bathtub shower and then hope for the best. Cause like, that's what you need. Not a Chuba Hubbard shower, not Rico's shower. Leave him clean. Dry mats only. Because he looks really good. And I guess your only hope is that, Dave Canales can kind of see like, hey, man, like Rico just gives us the best chance to win. And it goes to like a 70-30 kind of split and not the 50-50. Sure. Otherwise, you got this guy that you're excited about that has a flex spot ability. Low end running back too.
Yeah, that's the problem. That's why I had him at 7. They have some obsession with Chuba Hubbard. Hubbard ran 11 routes to Rico Dowdle's 3. So that's somewhat concerning to me that they wanted to use him that much, even though Dowdle, had 2 targets, 1 reception for 17 yards. Chuba had only 3 targets on those 11 routes, 2 receptions for 24 yards. And you already mentioned the stats about the rushing, man. There's such a big difference between those 2 guys, between, on the ground, that you would think the coaches could figure this out and go with Rico Dowdle, but I don't have a ton of confidence that that's what they're going to do, just because they have invested money and time in a guy like Chuba Hubbard, and they've seen him do it in the past. That maybe they want to stick with him a little bit longer. That's why I got him way down at 7. I just don't know that it's sustainable to begin with. I mean, the terror that Rico Dowdle was on to get him to where he's at, is
run.
Yeah, it's just totally unsustainable. So I don't see it kind of maintaining.
Right now, this is very one's Columbia fresh coffee, grounded bean coffee. Another one's a K-cup, and you know where I stand on that.
All right,
where Dave Cannell stands. He's going to make 2 cups of coffee, then mix them together and give both of them out. Yeah, just here you go. There's a little bit of K-cup.
Sneaky son of a bitch! What a way to do it.
Just make both cups bad.
Well, that works out. That's not that bad, actually.
All right. Number 5 on our list, Quentin Johnston, which tells me for as good as he's playing, we as a show are not super bought in, because the numbers should suggest that he's a legit asset. But we are seeing him as a little bit less than legit. You guys both have him at 6. I am at 5. And it is a weird situation right now with the Chargers. He's getting a lot of love. He's getting in the end zone. He's catching passes. He's doing better than I think most anyone would have expected. After how the first 2 years went, we were kind of ready for him to just go and be the next Treylon Burks and go and be the next Laviska Shenault and go and be the next, whatever. And he's had more staying power, and he's done a lot better than people would have expected. So it's hard for me to just fully dismiss this, but I still it's hard to imagine him really as a dynasty top 24 wide receiver.
Yeah, for me, there's Ladd on the team. I think that's eventually going to kind of flush itself out, and he's going to become the guy there. Gadsden emerging is another issue, right? That we got to worry about, because he is another big target similar to a Quentin Johnston. He used to be a wide receiver, converted to tight end. And if he's going to be a factor, and he's going to be reliable and catch the ball, and not like drop these mystery flubs and just drop passes kind of randomly, then it's eventually going to shift away from a guy like Quentin Johnston and to a guy like Gadsden. So, that's what I'm worried about. I do think, to your point, and we've said it for the past, 3 or 4 weeks or so, when we talk about Quentin Johnston, he's looked better than we thought he was ever going to kind of look. He's turned some sort of corner, but there's still those kind of inexplicable mistakes that seem to always happen with a guy like Quentin Johnston that are only going to be kind of, I think, stomached by this coaching staff for so long before they just kind of figure out something else.
Yeah, props to Quentin Johnston has looked 100 times better than I thought he would look going this year. I thought he was like dead in the water after what I saw last year. So he has, like you said, Garrett, turned the corner a little bit. Listen, it's just weird because like he's winning, right, from a fantasy football standpoint. But right now, they're throwing the football a ton with the offensive line playing from a negative game script. No Marlon Hampton. I think Keenan Allen's 5th in the league in targets. I think Ladd McConkey's 9th in the league in the targets. And you just mentioned Oronde Gadsden now enters the frame from 2 weeks ago. And how does that pan out for a guy like Quentin Johnston? Because he wins because he's like a first-round drafted Gabe Davis, right? Like he could take the top off the defense. He's so different than the rest of those receivers they have on their roster. Definitely like a guy, Keenan Allen, really good savvy route runner, first read looks, and he's producing. Ladd McConkey's just always open. So like, when you have those two receivers and you got to play those receivers, maybe bring it, instead of playing too high safety, you got to bring one of those safeties up to control the middle of the field. It gives Johnson an opportunity to kind of take the top off a little bit more and make those big plays and score touchdowns and find that broken coverage. So listen, for my Quentin Johnston shares, I'm way more excited about having them than I was 6 months ago. But yeah, he's more like a wide receiver for me as it currently stands. But I would say, I guess I'd be a little bit more optimistic going into 2026 when Keenan Allen's off the team for my Quentin Johnston shares about actually putting him in my lineup on a consistent basis. And honestly, like you could do way worse than a Quentin Johnston for the upside that he does bring, because he's just a one catch away from scoring a touchdown. So better, significantly better than 2025.
All right. This seems like a little bit of a tier break because we all had those 4 players ranked either 5, 6, 7, or 8. And now the next 4 are all 1, 2, 3s, or 4s for us. So it seems to be a little bit of a tier break. At number 4, Matt and I have this guy at 4. Rich, you have him at 3. So I'll let you go first. Sam Darnold with the big, nice breakout here. And in some ways, similar to Jordan Mason, he did kind of break out last year. But I don't think many people believed in it because he was the backup and because it was in Minnesota, who's done a really good job developing quarterbacks. This breakout feels a little different because they did pay him the money and he's doing it in a different offensive system and he's still producing. So even though he did numbers-wise break out this year or last year, this year feels a little bit different.
Yeah, you got to be really excited about your Sam Darnold shares. What a massive win. They showed that thing on football last night, the Daniel Jones, Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield. The Baker Mayfield hurt me in my stomach, my groin, everywhere. But all 3 of those quarterbacks no longer on their team and having success. I literally looked at my son. I was like, dude, because you want to know why? These NFL teams are so quick to just jump off of their these first round investments so quickly. Don't give them time to develop and put stuff around them for them to have success and find the right systems for them instead of trying to force them that square piece into the round hole, right? Like it's so silly. And Sam Darnold right now is doing this with essentially just one receiver in Jackson Smith and Jigba, essentially Cooper Kupp. Not a difference maker, but Sam Darnold right now, the 28th overall fantasy scorer. His 1,754 passing yards are 7th most in the NFL on only 192 attempts. He has the least amount of attempts out of the top 20 passing QBs outside of Josh Allen with 178. So he's being very efficient. He's number 1 in ADOT amongst qualifying QBs with 10 yards flat. He's got one of the lowest yards after the catch percentages at 35.6% as well. So like he's putting the ball on the receivers and the receivers aren't doing a whole lot after it. Again, it's just JSN. That's why. And only 12.5% off target throw percentage as well, which basically what I'm trying to say is Sam Darnold has been unbelievably efficient out there in Seattle. And that is something when you got your hands on a quarterback like that, man, do you have a lot of room to grow. So as a Sam Darnold owner in Dynasty, you got to be really efficient. He's a week in, week out starter. Like I said, a top 20. He's a 28th overall scorer overall. Get it done amongst fantasy football quarterbacks and not even throwing the ball a ton because we know this team likes to run the football as well. Quarterback 13 on the year as it stands right now. A massive win for anybody that got Sam Darnold when they were trying to like tear down and do the rebuild, right? Like, hey, here's this quarterback. Give me a couple first, but I need a quarterback back. Give me Sam Darnold. What a win.
Yeah, totally. I mean, you and I, Garrett, both have him at 4. I really was having a hard time separating these top 4 people. And Sam Darnold just kind of ended up at last. It's not because I'm not confident in him. I really do like what I've seen out of Sam Darnold. I think he turned a corner, last year with the Vikings, and he's carried it over now to another system, which I think is huge. It's a huge indicator that this is here to stay. So Sam Darnold, even though he's ranked 4th, which is, you mentioned it, there was a clear tier in my eye. It was these top 4 guys and then the bottom 4 guys. He's in this top 4 and he could be anywhere, up. He's not the number 1 guy, but 2 to 4 for me, very easily, because all those guys are very close. And Sam Darnold, kudos to him for getting it figured out and losing all, whatever he called, what's her name, the ghost whisperer, to get rid of all the ghosts that he was seeing. Whatever the heck her name is, Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Shaggy and Scooby-Doo. Oh,
Jennifer Love Hewitt, ghost whisperer. And he's finally gotten over all that stuff.
Scooby and Shaggy pulled out the mask. I'm like, oh no, it was the Jets all along.
Oh no, it was Bill Belichick this whole time, just screwing with them.
It's funny how things work out. We had our nerds app league, and it's something that we've been doing. And if you haven't checked it out, we have articles every week, kind of give you like a nice glimpse into how we operate as fantasy managers and big time trades that happen in the league and all that kind of stuff. So it's a fun little article series if you haven't checked it out. But I took Sam Darnold in the 9th round of that league. And it was one of those times where this was before he even signed in the offseason, but having the confidence that he was going to sign, he was going to get good money, and that he would be able to build off of what he did last year, because getting him in the 9th round, he's easily ascended at least 2 rounds now compared to where you would have had to have taken him last year. So that's why you always take those quarterbacks and those startups. And I'm a guy that will, if you're not careful, I'll just keep taking quarterbacks. If you leave value there, I will keep taking them. I took Justin Fields, which obviously wasn't great. I took him in an 11th round, but I traded him for a 1st round pick before the season started to a team that really only had 1 quarterback. So that's why you take those quarterbacks. They can rise in value as you get closer to the season, and especially if they put up just a couple big games, you get really good value.
And that's in the app league, right? For amongst writers.
That's in the app league.
Yeah, whoever you traded him for first, he's fired.
He's fired. He's actually in like 2nd place. He's still doing well, but
still fired.
Still fired. Also, Javonte and Skattebo in that league. There's a reason I'm in 1st place, folks.
Wow.
But all that being said, I'm with you guys on Darnold. I don't think we need to go too much more into him. Daniel Jones ends up being the number 3 guy here. Rich had him 2nd. Matt and I both had him 3rd. Matt, I'll let you start on Daniel Jones. How's your feeling so far on what he's doing with this offense?
Yeah, obviously he's like the talk of the entire NFL at this point, I feel like. So, I think he's here I think this production is here to stay for the entire season. The only reason I had him 3 and probably not 2 is because it's a 1-year deal and anything is possible. They haven't, if they don't re-up this guy, who knows what kind of scenario he's going to be in next season. But if he was on a 3-year deal here with the Colts, he would have been either 1 or 2 for me. I really do think this is a great fit for him. The offense is humming along, and it's exactly kind of, what this offense, obviously it's exactly what the offense needed, but it's exactly what a player like Daniel Jones needed, was this opportunity with a very competent coach and nice pieces around him, and a nice run game to lean on, a nice offensive line in front of him. Everything kind of set up perfect for this scenario to play itself out. And I think with that said, he's outproducing any kind of expectations most anybody had for him.
Yeah, I'm sad to announce that I got my letter back finally. My application to join the Daniel Jones board fan club was denied. They said once you leave, you cannot come back.
Oh my gosh, that is a shame.
Yeah, like you're the former president. If you don't love us when we're down, you can't love us when we're back on top. And I was like, but I've always been a supporter. Like, yeah, proof's in the pudding, Mr. Dodson. You're just a fan. And listen,
Poops in the pudding.
Not
poops
proof.
in the pudding.
Poop.
Yeah. Listen, like Matt said, it was a 1-year deal. To me, I would say with 99.9% certainty that Daniel Jones gets extended with the Indianapolis Colts. There's absolutely no way whatsoever they'd let him walk with how good he looks in this offense and how much this team is excelling as well. You want to say something, Garrett?
That might go up there in my top 10 Richisms ever. The
poops in the pudding?
In the pudding.
Yeah, poops in the pudding. So, Daniel Jones right now, when we're talking efficiency, he's the 11th overall scorer in PPR leagues. His 1,790 passing yards right now is only 10 behind Pat Mahomes, 5th most in the NFL. And his 214 attempts are the lowest amount in the top 5 amongst quarterbacks. So again, very efficient when he's getting done. He is 4th in yards per attempt in passing amongst passers with at least 20 attempts at 8.36. And he's only got a 15% off target rate as well. This is somebody who, again, coming out here, and it goes to show you, right? Some systems just need a quarterback to go out there and execute. It's why Brock Purdy is such a good quarterback. He executes a perfect system in Kyle Shanahan's system. Look what Sean McVay could do with an excellent quarterback in his system, right? Which is just win with not much around him. I think Daniel Jones has finally found the perfect fit, and Shane Steichen has found a perfect fit for his offense as well. Kind of shows you what could have been with Anthony Richardson and his mobility as well. But this is how the NFL works out, and I think Daniel Jones is here to stay. I moved him up pretty good in my dynasty ranks as well. I think I need a little bit more before he really starts climbing the charts, but and for somebody who started off hot running, he's not even over 100 yards rushing on the season too. So they're not even utilizing his athleticism right now. He is getting it done with his arm. So super excited about Daniel Jones and all the shares that I have, because I have a decent amount of Daniel Jones from back when I was the president of the fan club. Because unfortunately, even when I was a president, it was easy to lead the fan club. It was not easy to unload my Daniel Jones shares. So I am still abundant with the pudding, which is now all of a sudden a little bit more chocolatey than poopy.
The poop is in the pudding, not the proof. Wow, that was one of my favorites. Okay, let's go to our next guy here. And speaking of fan clubs, we're talking about favorite Williams here. Javonte Williams, he ended up being tied with Daniel Jones for second there. So that they both had 2.67 average ranking for us. Matt and I, we both had him second here. And I do believe, I'm double checking right now, but I think he's tied. Actually, he's number 2 on my most rostered players. Darius Slayton's number 1, and then Javonte Williams is number 2 for me. So I still have tons and tons and tons of Javonte shares. And look, even as somebody that was as high on him as I was, I had really started to lose hope this year in that app league that I was talking about. I got him in the 15th round, round, a guy that's playing like an RB1. That just shows you how far he fell, and everyone was basically ready to leave him for dead. And boy, this ascension has been truly something to watch all year long, week in, week out. He's been a solid, steady asset, currently at running back 6. In dynasty rank, or in the yearly ranking so far, averaging 18.7 points per game. Just been, he's doing in the running game, he's doing in the receiving game, and especially with the injury to Miles Sanders, there's just really no threat to him at all. Would not be surprising if he re-signed here, if they got a deal done and he ends up finishing his career as a Cowboy, because what we've seen so far has just been really special. Matt, what do you think about him?
Yeah, man, lights out. Obviously, we're seeing him return to pre-draft or pre-injury form, which is really, it was something I didn't think was possible. Once we saw him last year, he just looked too sluggish, too slow, with basically a complete lack of explosion. So with that in mind, the only thing, knock on wood, that could slow him down again would be another injury, because he's a young player. He's only, I think, 25 years old.
Yep.
So he's got plenty of tread still left on these tires, and I would expect Dallas would have some interest in bringing him back as well, because I think he fits this system perfectly, and he's giving them that tough. It's a Cam Skattebo-esque type of running style where he's a hard guy to bring down. He's going to lower the boom on you. He can beat you in different ways, and
I have a type.
Yeah, the yards after contact are just phenomenal, and that aspect of his game is back. So Javonte Williams, love him. Think he's definitely legit for sure.
I was dead wrong on Javonte Williams. I actually predicted that Miles Sanders would be the number 1 running back in this offense and kind of do what Javonte Williams was doing, but not even at this high of a level. I was dead wrong. Like Matt said, after seeing him last year, I really thought he was just done and the injuries had ruined him. I was wrong, and wrong mightily, because right now Javonte Williams is second in the NFL in rushing yards with 592. His 5.33 yards per carry is third in the NFL amongst runners with at least 50 carries. His 407 yards, Matt, after contact, second best in the NFL, only behind Jonathan Taylor. He's just getting it done at all levels of the running game right now. Very impressed, very happy for Javonte Williams, for somebody who you two have been significantly higher on than me. So super happy that, the hard work and the tape study has come to fruition on your guys' end. Again, I wasn't always in on favorite Williams. And definitely leave him for dead after seeing an injury. And listen, I love good comeback stories. Like I really do. Like I love seeing players succeed. I'll never talk down on players because like I hope they do bad outside of Russell Wilson. I hope he does do bad. Go ahead and tweet about me too, like you did Sean Payton, you turd. I don't see you put out Rich Dodson tweets now, do you? But anyways, yeah, like good for him, man. I love seeing people actually be able to overcome adversity, and Javonte's come back to those injuries. He's looked absolutely fantastic out there in Dallas. And I'm just really curious, like kind of like Matt said about like the Daniel Jones extension, like, man, I just need him to stay in this system and this offense, you know, and be the guy.
Don't go
like,
anywhere.
I need to get extended because at 25, like, yeah, he is young, but like, again, as a running back, dude, it's unless you have the money and you have the opportunity, nothing matters, man, and nothing matters. So like, absolutely phenomenal for this year. I really hope it could continue because like we've seen a guy who's super talented kind of bouncing around and like chasing opportunity. A guy like J.K. Dobbins who's overcome way more adversity than a guy like Javonte Williams, and he's looked pretty good. So like, but even like him right now, like we don't, you know, with the investment in R.J. Harvey, where's J.K. Dobbins going to be next year? Where's Javonte Williams going to be? Always opportunity at that position. There's tons of teams that could use a running back. And I hope Javonte Williams just stays exactly where he has and becomes that hashtag 2 to 3 year window running back that you guys always thought he could be.
Absolutely. All right. Well, we might have had a slight difference on where we had a couple of these guys, but we were unanimous on who the number one guy was. The guy we are most confident is going to be in the same spot or better in our dynasty rankings this time next year. And that was Mr. Tucker Kraft. Tucker Kraft has had a really, really solid season overall with some high upside weeks. And we even saw one of his games where he had 2 catches where he caught it and was down at the 1 yard line. So 2 touchdowns could change a lot for him. Currently averaging 13.3 points per game on a points per game basis. That is good for tight end 5 overall. Matt, with what Tucker Kraft is doing, where do you kind of have him in your rankings? I'm sure it's behind Bowers and McBride and Warren, but is there anybody else before him?
That's a good question that I'm not teed up for. I don't remember where. I don't know. It's all good, man. I just don't remember where I have him. Let me see. No, I actually have him. Bowers, Trey McBride, Sam LaPorta, Ty Warren, and then Tucker Kraft. So he is my tight end 5 right now. So yeah. Listen, this guy, he's got everything you want. He's after the catch, he does good things with the ball. He can get open. We love the quarterback that he's with. The fact that there's a ton of guys right now that we don't really know kind of what they're going to be doing next year as far as pass catchers. There's going to be a lot of wide receivers kind of up in the air from contract standpoint here in Green Bay. But Tucker Kraft is always there kind of doing his thing. So he's the constant. These wide receivers, we can't figure them out, but the tight ends, we know what to expect. The running back, we know what to expect. So he brings a level of consistability that Rich would love. There's no poo in this. What are we saying? Poo pudding. In the pudding. Thank you. In the pudding. There's no poop in the pudding here needed because Tucker Kraft has already pooped in the pudding.
Yeah, I saw. Listen, Tucker Kraft has been nothing short of phenomenal. His yards after the catch is like really second to none. He's so good. It comes down to target share. This past week, he had a lot of targets. I saw a really good stat on here by Ryan Heath. Ryan Heath works for fantasypoints.com. Scott Barrett's over there. Scott, if you're in the business, like if you follow around, Scott Barrett's literally one of the best in the business. And Ryan Heath over the last couple of years has really established himself in my eyes as one of those top analysts in the business. And he had a really good stat over there at fantasypoints.com. And it goes like this. I wrote it down. This is from Ryan Heath at fantasypoints.com. If you exclude games where Kraft appeared on the injury report, he's averaging 17 fantasy points per game. Like in almost a 25% target share. Like that's just gross. Like he's one of those top tier tight ends. It's cut and dry. And like I said, every time you find one of those guys, you got to hold on to him tight and tell them you love them daily so they don't leave.
Absolutely. It's just so hard to get the kind of role that it looks like he could be getting here. And look, I don't think he's entered that tier of those top echelon guys, but he's not far from it. I would love to see that really solidify where he is the number one option in the offense. Yeah. And it's not murky. That's the only thing I'm really waiting to see on him, but I'm comfortable that he's going to stay inside my top 6 this time next year as well. So he's our number one guy as far as the legit.
And Garrett kind of reminds me of that time, like same thing, like how we love Dallas Goedert, right? Like, God, man, Dallas Goedert's so talented. If he could just be the number 1 or number 2, obviously number 1, but the number 2 in this offense, like he could be one of those elite tight ends. We saw a little bit of that this year where he has been like one of the first looks. So Sandler Tucker Kraft, his biggest hiccup is gonna be like the offense itself, like where they like to spread the ball around, and can he get enough targets to really produce? Because when he gets the ball in his hands, there's no question there. Like he produces.
Well, guys, don't forget about FastDraft. It's been a partner that we have had all off season into the regular season here, and we love what they're doing over there. And we've partnered with them because we think that they have an awesome best ball product, and you can do in-season stuff too. It's not just in the off season. You can do the quick 6 pick Super Slam or the Flex 6 Frenzy tournament with guaranteed prize pools. Look, if you want to make some money doing best ball, it's the best way to go out and do it. You don't have a lot of the high competition levels that you do on some of the more established brands. This is the place to go do it. You're sitting there on a Sunday. What makes it more fun when there's a little extra on the line? That's what you're going to get there with FastDraft. And look, they're going to deposit they're going to double your deposit up to $100. So if it's a $100 deposit, now all of a sudden you have $200 to play with there. On top of that, we are going to give you an absolutely free year to Dynasty Nerds. Everything we're doing, including that data hub we just talked about, that's included in this. So free annual Dynasty Nerds membership. It's like a $70 value there. And even if you're already a member, we'll give you a $25 gift card to our store. So use promo code NERDS at FastDraft today. That's promo code NERDS to get the deposit match and the free annual Nerds membership. All right, let's head on to our second segment here. And I'm excited about this one because I think this is really, really good for contenders right now. If you have a first-round pick, now sometimes it's your own. If you're a contender, we know it's late, but sometimes you have other people's first as well. Maybe you didn't think you were a contender, but you're like Matt and you have a Mecca Ibuka and you have other pieces like that where all of a sudden now you're ascending into contender status. We're asking, would you be willing to trade that first for this player to help your team? So we'll go through some early pick situations, some mid pick situations, and some late pick situations. If you have not been listening to our college show, we're looking specifically at the 26 class, which overall is fine. It's not a great class, but it's not a terrible class. And especially at the top end, we have some really nice names. We have some good quarterbacks that we're looking at right now. Fernando Mendoza seems to kind of be the odds-on favorite to be the top guy out of Indiana. But we have some nice wide receivers like Jordan Tyson, Tate out of Ohio State as well. Mekhi Lemon, I really like him out of USC. You have Jeremiah Love, far and away what looks like the best running back in this class, really explosive all-around threat. So there's some good names still at the top of this draft just because it might not be the deepest draft in general. So with all of that knowledge, with all of that being said, Rich and Matt, let's go through here and say, would you buy this player with your first? So let's start with the early first. Rich, James Cook, would you be willing to give up a top 3-ish pick in next year's draft to get James Cook on your team as a contender?
James Cook is averaging 17.4 fantasy points per game, running back 6, going into the bye week this past week. And he's only 25, 26 years old. Has shown himself the last few years a really good running back, but under no circumstance am I giving up a top 3 pick for any running back. Unless I'm a contender and I traded for that pick, right? Like, say
and that's the scenario. You're a contender and you have this pick on your team.
So if I'm a contender right now and I have this pick on my team and I have any need for a running back at all, like I don't have 3 studs, and that means I have to have 3 studs, not even just 2 good guys, right? Like, yeah, I'd give up the top 3 pick for James Cook because I'm trying to win. That's an easy pick for me to do. Like, I know that I'm getting a couple years. They just extended them. I'm getting 2 to 3 more years of James Cook and a very efficient offense that likes to run the football. That's shown to be a consistent running back 1. And for me, as long as it's not my pick, again, I traded for this pick 100%. Like, I was talking to Matt about this before. Like, me and Matt just made a big trade in our Dynasty OG league where I traded him Christian McCaffrey, and I have my pick because my team, Garrett, you and I talked about it, how like everybody on my team got hurt, right? And my pick's probably gonna pick anywhere from 3 to 5, and this person had a legit chance to win like I was offering Christian McCaffrey, and like he has a good team. All I wanted was my first back and a second for Christian McCaffrey, which would have been a top 3 like pick. Definitely getting McCaffrey off my roster. And he's like, oh, that pick looks too good. And I sent him a message. I was telling Matt about this. Like, dude, I really just don't understand like players like you in Dynasty. I just don't get it. Like that. I don't understand mindset as an analyst and somebody's been playing this game that long. Like you have a legit chance to win. And you're more concerned about a rookie pick they're going to have in Pitt, like, which is going to be like the 3rd pick next year in a weaker class. And this is 1 QB, not even super flex, mind you. And not try to go win, have a legit chance at a title, which is what Christian McCaffrey gives you, right? Because he has Quentin Johnston. He has another like elite running back, but he only has 2 running backs as well. And I was like, that mindset, I was like, I don't mean this to be like a dick either, man, but like, it's players like you that never win championships because when you have the opportunity, you don't get it because you're more concerned about some rookie pick. And listen, that could easily be Trevian Henderson that you could draft. So anytime I have a chance and I'm in a window to get a guy like, and more so a guy that can give me multiple years, right? That's like 26 years old. I'm always taking that player over the upside of a draft pick. We just did yesterday our redraft show, right? The whole top of that first round is completely different than it was. And we're only a couple months later, right? Compared to months down the road. So I say this a lot on the show, and I think we've preached this for the last 12 years. I think it's kind of what our show also differentiate our show from other shows is like we are all about winning championships, and the draft picks are secondary at that point when you're a contender. Like you have draft picks to make your team better. That's what you have them for. When you're rebuilding your middle of the road, you need those. When you're a contender and you have picks, you use those as an asset for now because you don't know what your team's going to look like next year. I just said before too, like Garrett, like my team went into this thinking I'm a contender, and then George Kittle, all my receivers, Terry McLaurin, Tyreek Hill, Chris Scott, they all get hurt, right? Like you have no idea what your team is going to look like if you had Joe Burrow and you had all these guys on your roster, how it's going to look. So if you have an opportunity to get a guy like James Cook and you just got to go up early first and that's all it's costing you is 1 pick with that you traded for, mind you, easy breezy.
And that's going to be with all of these. I picked players specifically that were value-wise right around these picks. So these are players where people are saying, yeah, it's pretty close between these guys. And some guys, James Cook was just a hair higher, but these next guys are all lower. And a lot of them, I picked guys that were valued. Overall value was less than the pick. So, and I think you're right, Rich. That is going to kind of show our show here where we're like, almost always, I'm going to value the pick a little bit less than everybody else, especially if I'm a contender.
I know it's funny that you're talking about that league. I just got a text from somebody saying, I just sent you a juicy offer in that league. Can I give it to you guys live on air?
Do it. Why not?
He listens to the show because I think I'm going to take it. And this would bottom my team out. So that person would for sure probably have a top 2 pick, right?
Okay.
I know who this is already. Go ahead.
Who is it?
Is it Walchko?
It's Walchko.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Shout out John, longtime high school friend. He offered me 1 QB, Jaden Reed, his 26 first, his 28 first, because he doesn't have his 27 first, because I already have it, and 28 second for George Kittle and Saquon Barkley. Non-tight end premium, 1 QB.
So you get 2 firsts, 1 in 26, 1 in 28.
Jaden
Reed in a second.
And 28 in second. And I'm in full rebuild at this point. It gets Kittle and Saquon Barkley. I think I got to hit accept.
It's close. That's really close for me.
I'm not going to comment
because
I'm in this league. I'm in this league, and I just got Christian McCaffrey off of him, so I'm not commenting. You can figure it out.
Barkley's done nothing this year. Yeah, I know.
The hard part is the first are expected to be late, right?
Well, 2028, who knows? It's so far down the road.
By 2028, who knows? But
his team's young. His team's young. The rest of his team is. He's got Breace Hall, and he's got Bijan
Robinson.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all he's got at running back. But he has no first until 2029 then. So
yeah, it's a good offer. I got to replace Saquon with one of those first, and I got to replace Kittle with the other.
That doesn't matter though, because like again, I'm in full rebuild. I would.
I
have
know, but long term,
first.
I got to replace them. You know what I mean? To become a contender again.
Garrett, when I say full rebuild, this is a complete going down to zero. Remember,
I hear
said,
you.
I'm making sure I get the 27-1-1 to get Jeremiah Smith. So I am going full rebuild to get as much draft capital as I can. I'm looking to compete in 2028 is what I'm looking to compete in this.
I would probably do it, but it is a really tough one for me.
Okay. That's it. Okay. Back to the regular show. Sorry. Just came through and I had to send a while back to him because that's what we do.
Wow. All right.
So James Cook,
did you start about James Cook?
I didn't at all. I would do James Cook. I was gonna fight Rich if he said he wasn't gonna do James Cook, but it sounded like he just was a little confused about the contender, not contender type of thing.
Yeah, that's all.
So,
well, yeah, because dude, if you're a top 3 pick, you never trade for a running back ever.
Right. Obviously.
Right. All right. Next one here, Ladd McConkey, right now valued less than a first. Would you be willing as a contender to use a top 3 type pick to get Ladd McConkey? Matt, we'll start with you this time.
I'm trying to find Ladd McConkey. It's going to take me a second. Oh, wide receiver 23. Listen, I like Ladd McConkey. I think he is kind of the future there. But I think at this point, if you have a top 3 pick, you can do better than the Ladd McConkey for a contender. Personally, like go out and get somebody that's up near the top somewhere. Go get Jesus. I mean, can you get a George Pickens if somebody doesn't believe that he's that the bottom is going to drop out of that thing? He's way up there at wide receiver 5. Obviously, Keenan Allen, Devontae Adams are 7 and 8. I wouldn't even, you could throw something way less and get one of those guys and maybe get more production for a contender. So I think maybe that one is a little pricey for me. I know Rich is probably going to have a different opinion because he likes Ladd quite a bit more than I do. But that one feels a little bit high for me. Top 3 for Ladd McConkey.
A wide receiver 1 last year. Love the player. 9th in targets in the NFL right now at 57 and sees about 8.1 point targets per game. Keenan Allen's number 1. He's a little bit higher. He's seeing 9 targets per game. He is 5th most with 63 targets. Ladd is still being very efficient and getting open on a consistent basis on a team that's good at football. I think getting Marlon Hampton back and both those offensive tackles. Joe, I'll be back here soon.
Production. Those are all a bunch of good stats that don't lead to production.
It did last year. Honestly, Matt, I just think it's a Keenan Allen thing. That's a hindrance right now, and that's not a long-term thing. I really do. I think once Keenan Allen's off the team, I think this is absolutely fantastic for Ladd McConkey, and I feel very good about having my roster. I'd easily go a top 3 pick for him.
I totally agree, Rich. This is a contender question, and I think for a contender, you can do better for this year production than Ladd McConkey. That's it. I love Ladd McConkey long term, man.
Oh, well, I didn't know that's the option. We can just start throwing other players out there. Again, here's the way to look at it, Matt, right? Like, you're right. But we talk about this on the show, Garrett, all the time. Like, it's easy when you put stuff out there like, oh, you can trade for this player or this player. In the reality of things, your trade partners are very limited in Dynasty fantasy football.
You're right.
Very limited.
Yeah.
So, like, the offer is like, this is the best you can get, Ladd McConkey for a top 3 pick. That's a young guy. Then, yes, I am doing it. You're right. Like, maybe there's like another young guy that over Ladd McConkey I would. But, like, again, it's too broad of a stroke. We know in Dynasty, your trade partners are extremely limited because like the contenders and the bottom feeders, and it's too hard. Like it's hard to find trade partners sometimes. So to me, Ladd McConkey is worth a top 3 pick. Yes, I'm doing it.
He's worth a top 3 pick, but if I'm a contender, I don't know that I want to use that asset on him. That's where I get hung up. And because I feel like there's going to be a point when you can get somebody else. Now, if we're in some made-up scenario where Ladd McConkey is the only option, he's worth that. I'd be fine paying that. I just don't know if he's going to help my team if I'm already a legitimate contender. Where does he fit in? In your flex spot? Does he fit in as a bye week wide receiver 3. He's not going to be, for a contender, a wide receiver 2 or wide receiver 1 on your roster. So I don't know. That's not this year. I mean, I think he's got long-term value at those spots, but this year I think he's going to be a wide receiver 3 or a flex. So,
and I feel similar to you, Matt, where I would do this. Like overall, yes, I would, but I am pursuing all of my options first because I do want to see like it. You know, it's kind of like AJ Brown. Like, you know, AJ Brown. Is he worth it? Maybe. But, like, is he the best option for my team right now? I don't know. And so, but it is tricky. A lot can change over the weeks, and all of a sudden, second half of the season, we talk about it all the time. If we take from week 8 on, this player did, blah, 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 blah,
sure,
blah.
right,
You know,
right.
so it could easily be one of those scenarios. So, overall, though, my answer is yes, I would. Let's go to the last one here. Cam Skattebo. Cam Skattebo, a guy that you used to be taking at pick 2-3, 2-4, 2-5. Now we're saying, would you give up a top 3 type pick for a guy like Cam Skattebo?
Oh, dude, if I'm doing it for James Cook, I'm certainly doing it for Cam Skattebo. Come on. Again, if it's
Who do you have higher in your rankings?
If I'm a contender,
Who do you have higher in your rankings? Just curiosity.
That's a good question. Let me get in my
I have James Cook one spot higher.
It's gotta be James Cook for sure. Hold on.
It's close though, right?
I have James Cook, then McCaffrey, then Barkley, then Skattebo.
Okay.
And there's a strong argument to move Skattebo up. But again, I mean, I don't care that Christian McCaffrey is 9. Like, here's a good point about Christian McCaffrey. And I like Matt's trade for him like the other day. McCaffrey is nowhere near being done. And like what he's doing in between tackles. And the good point is like McCaffrey had that goal line carry where he turned his back to there and he was stuffed at there. And the leg power he had to keep driving and get in that end zone. McCaffrey is like, there's not a lot of players out there that like flip the script for any team. And like they could carry you to playoffs. And if you have them and okay players around, they could win you a championship by themselves. Christian McCaffrey is that kind of player. But I do have Skattebo in that tier. Like I think it's a strong tier of like I have Trevian Henderson, James Cook, Christian McCaffrey, Saquon Barkley, and Skattebo in that tier. I think there's a stronger argument to put Skattebo ahead of Barkley than there definitely is Christian McCaffrey. And I think James Cook, who just turned 26 years old, deserves to be in that mention. I think James Cook has a little bit more guarantee to be the guy. Where Skattebo right now, even we saw this past week, Tracy had that big run as well. There's still going to be a little mix of Tracy there where James Cook's the guy. So, but I still give the top 3 pick for him.
What about you, Matt?
Yeah, no doubt. I would definitely do this trade. When I was talking about my Emeka Egbuka and pick and the fact that I'm a like a sneaky contender, Cam Skattebo was my second round draft pick, which is also another reason why I'm catapulted up into being a contender this year. So obviously he would help out any sort of contender at this point, and to be able to throw a pick that's a top 3, which is a complete unknown. You would hope that you could get a guy next year for a guy that is doing it right now. You mentioned this last show. He is doing it right now when you were talking about Trevian Henderson versus Cam Skattebo. Cam Skattebo versus an unknown rookie next year. I'm going to take the guy that's doing it right now, especially on a contender. So that's an easy one for me.
Matt, I still think back to the Dynasty Nerds Invitational when starting at like pick 2-2, I tried so hard to trade up and every single one I'm blasting a message out there, willing to trade up here. And then I send an offer. Nothing. Send an offer. I literally sent an offer, 7 straight picks. And you got him at 2 freaking 9. And you're just like, oh, he just fell into my lap. Look at that, Cam Skattebo. Like,
and by the way, also doing pretty good in that league this year too.
Yeah, I could imagine.
When you had a monster week.
Yeah.
Freaking. Anyway, all right. Let's get to these last two. So now we're in the mid first. So you have somebody else's pick. It is not your own because you are a legit.
Whoa. I think we should flip the script. I think this should be a mid pick, and it is you're in the middle right now, and do you give up your first? You know what I mean? Like you're in the middle right now.
You as a contender.
Say you're like 6th or 7th in your league, possibly 5th. Who knows right now? But like you're in the middle of the league. You feel like you can make the playoffs if like. Maybe without making a trade, but if you make this trade,
you're in the top like 3-ish. If
you're going to make the playoffs, you have a chance to win it all, but like you still go sideways. I think that's the way we should look at this. It's a mid pick, probably.
All right, I'm open to that as long as the pick would put you pretty darn close to contender, because that's the lens we're trying to see this as for contenders.
Well, that's all. You're trading the mid pick because you think it's going to make you contender. But we know how many times have you done that, and then all of a sudden, like the next week,
it doesn't work out.
Yeah, like all of a sudden, like, oh, Joe Burrow goes down and Mike Evans is out with a broken clavicle. You know what I mean? Like, oh,
just kidding.
Son of a bitch.
All right, Rich. Kyren Williams, mid first. You giving it up?
Yeah, I would say I probably need a running back here. Don't necessarily love this player, but like if this is the best I can get, like he just did sign that extension, so I have some security there. I don't love it. Blake Corum right now getting some of those carries inside the 10 isn't like overly makes me overly excited. He was a little bit used more in the pass game, which is nice. And it's weird though, because like the situation with him is like, how is he going to be used, right? Like, are they ahead, they behind? Like, where does Blake Corum coming in? Blake Corum's been getting this really weird usage, but Kyren Williams is definitely like the number one guy. It's just like, I don't know how much, like, I just don't feel like Kyren Williams is like a massive difference winner. And I kind of said that in my bold predictions. I was like, listen, man, I don't think Kyren Williams is ever going to be a running back 1. Again, he was running back 7. On the year right now, he is running back 9 though. So like he's still on pace to be a running back 1. So this is definitely like a trade I would make, but this is the kind of one I make. Cause again, 1, I hate trading for running backs.
Like apprehensively.
This is when I make them like, oh dude, like kind of going back to what I said before, like, oh, if I get somebody else, like this is the best I can do, which is not a bad trade.
Sure.
I just feel like long-term, like in 2027, I'm like, oh man, I can't get over that first and turn to this.
I really hope I won the league
for Kyren Williams. You're right. You know, it's just like, this is where, like, instead of getting a different player, like, I would love to just tear down and get, like, somebody who's not as expensive. But, like, this is the price you got to pay. It's probably, like, a mid-first. And you hope it turns into pick 9 right around there. But again, to be fair, this is what he's worth. I'm just not overly in love with the player. That's all.
Yeah. This one, I agree with you, Rich. It feels icky, but it's the right move for somebody that's borderline contending and needs a running back, because you're going to get consistent usage, out of this guy. Is he going to catch 60, 70 balls? No, but you're hoping maybe he's in the 50 range by the end of the season or somewhere right around there. And he's going to finish 10, 11, 12, maybe 9, maybe 8, who knows, somewhere in that vicinity. He's not going to be a top 5 difference maker type of guy, but he's going to be consistent and he's going to be a good option for you.
I'm with you. It's not my favorite one, but you're never going to have a scenario. I think I said this with Andrew today. There is almost never a scenario where you're like, man, I'm heading to the playoffs and I wish I didn't have so many running backs. I just feel like I have too many. Like that's never a thing. Like you're always nervous about that next injury. You're always nervous about, that committee changing a little bit or whatever. So I think you have to do it. Hey, Nerd Herd, want to tell you about a show that we've been doing live on YouTube where we go over your teams and we talk about how to fix your broken roster. It's called Roster Rescue. We do it live every single Monday at noon Eastern time. And if you want to get a part of that, just head to our Dynasty Nerds homepage, go under the store tab, and you'll find Roster Rescue right there. Perfect opportunity to get your rosters in shape before the season or even in the middle of the season to make sure that you can win a championship. This one, though, for the next one here, Sam LaPorta, I'm going to go no. This is a super flex tight end premium. So it's definitely a player that it's the right format and he's a good player. But right now, he's just not a difference maker. And I can't trust him week in, week out. The price is right in a different scenario because I think you would probably in a tight end premium have to pay about a mid first to get a Sam LaPorta, but he's just not so much different from tight end 8, tight end 9, tight end 10.
Well, Garrett, the guys right below him, Hunter Henry and Zach Ertz, 10.4, 10.3. LaPorta's at 10.7, and those guys are significantly cheaper than a Sam LaPorta in any sort of format. And, why pay that premium to get a guy that's not going to make a difference when you can just get an older veteran guy out of either one of those guys I just mentioned at a much cheaper price?
I'm sorry, I just got a text message from John Walshko. He told me to tell O'Hara, boom.
Did you accept the trade?
I countered and asked for a third on top, and he accepted.
Oh, Jesus,
yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. He told me, he texted me accepted. Wow. Tell O'Hara, boom. I'm like, well, we're just podcasting right now.
Yeah, no big deal.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
So Sam LaPorta for me, guys, here's the thing. If I need a tight end, so same thing, mid tight end, I'm competing, but my tight end has just been a drudge on my team. I just can't get anybody. I had David Njoku going the year, optimistic, not doing anything. Now he's hurt. I'm giving up the mid pick because again, this is only if I have any other tight end I'm fine with, that I feel good about, I'm not doing it. But
if you have Harold Fannin, do you make the deal?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't, because
so you have to be pretty desperate is what you're saying.
I literally need a tight end. If we look at tight ends right now, say I go in here because Sam LaPorta right now is tight end 7 right now. He has 36. His 36 targets are ninth amongst all tight ends.
We almost can't even use the overall right now because with the bye weeks going in there on a points per game basis, he's 12.
Exactly. No, listen, dude. Yeah, I agree. But say what I'm saying is if my tight end was David Njoku, Mark Andrews, in that kind of in that range, Jonnu Smith, I just needed a tight end. I'm getting a really young tight end that's going to be probably 7, 6, kind of like we talked about in the preseason when I said he was a big sell for me, right? I think he's just going to finish right anywhere from tight end 6 to 8. Pretty consistently, and his value is ADP wise is way higher than that. But if I'm a contender, I can live with that if that's a hole and he's young enough and he's long-term enough where I'm comfortable with that. So, but it has to be a very unique situation where I need him. That's it. Like you said, Harold Fannin, I'm not trading for him. Oronde Gadsden, I'm not trading for him. Anybody but say you have Travis Kelce, right? And now Rashee Rice is back, and Rashee Rice kills Travis Kelce, kills him. We saw the target share drop down to under 10% this week because they live in Rashee Rice is not a take the top off receiver. I've said this 1,000 times. He lives in the middle of the field, and that's where Travis lives. I would still make that deal because I don't feel 100% comfortable with Travis Kelce as my tight end. And to make that push, I would go that way. So I would make that deal 50% of the time.
All right, Jaylen Waddle. Rich, would you make the deal for Jaylen Waddle?
Yeah, I would. I definitely would. Jaylen Waddle falls in a perfect category, somebody who's a little bit devalued. If you look at him right now, he's wide receiver 21, but he's only 26 years old. And going into this disaster rain game, before this game, he was wide receiver 12 overall. And I think there's going to be some shakeup out there. May eventually gets traded. I think he's a very talented receiver. And if I'm giving up a mid-first for Jaylen Waddle, who I'm going to get multiple years out of, that could be a wide receiver 1, has done it before, was wide receiver 12 overall going into this week, which was just a disaster week weather-wise and out of play against a really good defense. I feel pretty good about it. Again, kind of falls at a category I don't love. But if I'm going to trade for a receiver and I got to give him mid-first, and this is the best I could do, I want to make sure I get a guy that I can get 2 to 3 years out of. And Waddle fits that category pretty cleanly. And I think the floor I'm getting out of Waddle is a wide receiver 3, worst case, that will get that I feel very comfortable putting my lineup week in, week out, that I know that gives me the potential of a wide receiver 1, high-end wide receiver 2, more weeks than not. is a better way to say it. Again, not a sexy trade by any means, but again, limited my options. I don't mind giving up a mid first for Jaylen Waddle. I think that's a very good price point.
Waddle's one of these guys that I was shaking my head while you were talking, Rich, and it's because I have such a bad feeling about everything Miami right now that if I'm trying to make a jump from like this middling team to a contending team, I feel like this isn't the guy. You know what I mean? Like there's no good feelings that this guy is going to be doing this for the rest of the season. What he did kind of sporadically, for the past 6-7 weeks. I just don't, I hate what's going on with the quarterbacks there. Who knows how long the head coach is going to survive. I mean, if Jaylen Waddle got traded, I wouldn't be surprised. And who knows who wants a guy like it's just, there's too many unknowns for me to be like, yes, take my pick. That could be 6. That could be, you know what I mean? That could be 5 if he does nothing. You know what I mean? Like that feels gross to me. I don't think I could do the Jaylen Waddle for a mid first if I'm trying to catapult myself into contention. I just don't think that's the move.
This was probably the hardest one on the list for me, especially in the mid first range. I lean no. He's averaging 12.7 points per game. That's 31st on a points per game average. So on the points per game average, like that's pretty yucky. I get the rain game. He was at 14.4 before that, which was tied for 15th. So like
that's good, dude. Garrett. That's good. Again, you guys, dude, here's his weekly output: 7, 17.8, 14.9, 7.8, 23, 15.8, 2.5. You take out the rain game, everything's pretty damn solid. You know what I mean? That's my point. Like it's not even like it's like duds in there and out. So I just want to get that point across. Sorry,
I get that, but what have we traditionally seen out of Miami? It gets colder, it gets nastier, they play worse. Like we see this almost every year. And you take Mike McDaniels away, like he's a great play caller. Like I can't imagine it gets better if he gets relieved midseason. So I don't know. It's just not the asset that I want to go purchase.
I think we might be seeing different quarterback play not too far down the road. Is
that a good thing?
Did you see the Quinn Ewers experiment towards the end of that game? He couldn't even the offense wasn't even functioning, which would be pretty bad for Jaylen Waddle's value, in my opinion, anyway. And didn't Waddle get dinged up a little bit towards the end of that game also?
He might have, but I mean, Quinn Ewers, he's not the 7th round pick. Quinn Ewers is no worry about being a future quarterback of the Miami Dolphins.
No, right, I'm just talking about for this year. Yeah, we're talking about right now.
Oh, that was just like the game was over and they put him in there in a bad situation. Like the game was over, they put him in there. I don't think Quinn Ewers is even going to supplant Tua this year. I'm just talking about I think. Like you said, I think if anything, Waddle's off the team after this year. They trade him like in the offseason, maybe this year, and like they're going to completely reset next year. And you're right, maybe it doesn't get better. But here's the thing: Tyreek Hill's off the team. I think he's gonna be if he stays on the team, he's gonna get funneled with targets. Like he's just gonna be the only guy to throw the football to.
All right, let's get to our.
If you listen, hold on. If you told me Mike McDaniel was there the whole season, Tua was going to be the quarterback for the rest of the season, I would say, okay, I think this is going to be good. I can get down with that, but there's just too many unknowns. Sorry, go ahead, Garrett. You were saying.
All right. Let's get to our late first as we wrap up here. We'll try to hustle on these ones. Maybe Ricky Pearsall for your pick and your truest of true contender. It's a late first, Ricky Pearsall. Yes or no?
First of all, I apologize. I was wondering why Garrett was getting so aggravated. Like he seemed like he was about the time concept. I didn't realize how long the show was going for. I'm so tied up in other things. I apologize, Garrett.
Oh no, it's all good. It's all good.
Yes, I would trade a late first for Ricky Pearsall. I still love the upside. Juwan Jennings is not long for this team. He got that 1-year extension. What he's doing out there, he's all banged up. He's coming out. He's got the shoulder injury. He's got ankle sprains. He's got broken ribs. He's got all this stuff going on. We know the number one in this receiver in this offense is going to work. Brandon Ayuk will never come back and be relevant ever again. It seems like his knee got eaten from the inside out. I don't know what's going on. It's like a complete devastating injury, it seems. Ricky Pearsall, the first-round pick, has looked good in some opportunity. George Kittle is almost 32 years old. Yes, I think Ricky Pearsall is a great buy low right now. If I'm a contender, I get add to my roster right now, ready for him to step into that number one receiver role when he comes back, which should be as soon as this week. Yes, I am in.
Yes, I am in. Go next.
Yeah, I think 3 for 3. I would go with Ricky Pearsall as well.
Yep.
DeVonta Smith for the Philadelphia Eagles. What
yes.
You guys doing that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you not see him this week with that big touchdown? Come on, he was like the top fantasy scorer going into the weekend.
They're starting to heat up a little. They're starting to heat up in the passing game there. I think this is a trend that continues. They looked good. People are going to overcommit for the run and make them win over the top.
I feel icky about it. I don't love it because I don't think he's like an elite wide receiver. But if I need wide receiver help, he's so smooth. Again, this is a player that all three of us have loved his talent.
For sure.
There's always an opportunity. Like again, if it's a mid first, God, I do feel really icky about like
he's quarterback. He's wide receiver 11 right now.
Yeah, because he had that one monster game.
4.6, 9.3, 20, 4.9, 19.4, 8.9, 33.3.
I mean, he's no Jaylen Waddle, but okay.
So just play him every other game and you're fine.
Here's it. Jaylen Waddle or DeVonta Smith. I'll take Jaylen Waddle.
The price point's different. If it was the same price point, I'll take
mid first.
Waddle.
Same price point.
No, we're on late first, Rich.
Oh. Where am I right now?
Dude, it's too late for Rich. All right. So yes, no on DeVonta Smith?
No from me.
No from Garrett. I would take it. I think Rich said he would take it.
I actually like DeVonta Smith almost more as like a rebuilder because I think there's a chance AJ Brown could be gone if things are okay now. Too.
Yeah.
And so I like DeVonta Smith more as like a long-term speculative trade, more so than a like win now trade.
Now you're talking sexual to me. Come on, baby.
There we go. All right, last one. Trevor Lawrence. Rich, I know you had some numbers on Trevor Lawrence. Would you make the deal for a late first Trevor Lawrence on a contender?
Dude, so I have a lot of Trevor Lawrence shares. I've been very pessimistic saying he looks terrible out there. And I was on Fantasy Points digging through their data. Like their tool is just unbelievable on the information you get on there. And going through the quarterback stats, I came away unbelievably pleasantly surprised about Trevor Lawrence. He's not he's not the answer. Like he's not doing great, but from a statistical standpoint right now, and from a fantasy standpoint as well, Trevor Lawrence is currently quarterback 12 overall. Nobody wants anything to do with him. Everybody's shitting on him. You can go buy him. His 1,620 yards is 10th in the NFL. He's got 103 scramble yards. 10.8% of his throws have been dropped. He leads. He's second in the league in drop percentage. JJ McCarthy is first at 12.2%, but he's second in the league overall with 10.8% of his throws being dropped, which is equivalent of 181 air yards. 14 more yards than second most Justin Herbert, right? So like he's losing the most yards out of his receivers. His off-target throw percentage is only 15.4% according to them as well, according to fantasypoints.com. So like right now, Trevor Lawrence has been really let down by his receivers. Like he's quarterback 12. He could probably inch it up a little bit closer to like quarterback 9 in that range right now. He's only 26 years old. So if anytime you get a guy who's number one overall pick, signed an extension, and has two really good weapons who has been producing, that right now is a very negative look at there. If I can get Trevor Lawrence in a super flex league for a late first, easy peasy lemon squeezy. I love doing it. And like it kind of falls in the same mode of like the Sam Darnold and Daniel Jones, right? Like would we all pay a late first for Daniel Jones and Sam Darnold right now? 100%. So I would definitely do it for Trevor Lawrence as well. And then hope everything around him gets better. And even Trevor Lawrence himself gets better. But anytime I get a younger quarterback who's got like long-term insulation for any kind of first round pick. Oh, okay. I changed that. Late first round pick. Easiest trade I can make.
I agree. Trevor Lawrence, obviously QB 12 right now, and all the stuff you just cutie number 12. All the reasons Rich just said. I mean, the contract says he's going to be sticking around. This is a new system. They're all kind of learning it right now. It's starting to gel. It's starting to come together. Yes, he seems to make a couple of really bad off-target throws per game, but I think you live with that. And as this thing grows, it's going to kind of get better. And hopefully Brian Thomas, whenever his shoulder is okay, he just stops dropping passes.
We can hope. The only thing I'll say is I do really want to stick to points per game because of all the buys and stuff. So he's quarterback 18 on a points per game basis. So even that being said, though, I am still going to buy. He is a quarterback. It's a super flex league. If I can get any starting caliber quarterback that I think will at minimum be the starter on their team again next year, they are worth a late first. So I would buy as well.
And go back to your point, you're right. On a points per game basis, he's that, but he's still the 26 overall PPR scorer. And that's and we talk about it a lot about Garrett as well. Like you have to be okay with paying. Like, oh, he's quarterback 18. He's a mid-range quarterback. And in one QB, yeah, to the birds, right? Like,
oh yeah,
in Superflex, he's a top 26 overall scorer, right? Like you can't let that go by. And I think that's what goes to the point of like he's acquirable, right? Because too many players are like, oh, you're not a quarterback. You're not a quarterback one. You're not a quarterback one. Yes, that works with tight end easily. Running back, yes. Wide receiver, a little bit less. But quarterback, hey, if you're a quarterback two, I need you, right? Like 100%. If you're my quarterback three, even if you're my quarterback two, that's a championship caliber player at all times. So, yeah, Trevor Lawrence, bye.
All right. That wraps things up.
Adios.